Alright, so what's going on, guys? It's your boy. I lied. That sounds really weird. Anyways, what's going on, guys? It's Noza Parks here. And then today I'm going to be trying something slightly newer. That being, I'm going to make a review video on Ousama no Game, otherwise known as the King's Game. This show is so awesome that the fact that I had to make a review on this show, and I hope you enjoyed. In the background I'm just playing a little bit of Injustice, so if you're not really into it, please bear with it. And without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so going in straight into the meat of things, basically how the King's Game is an anime where the main character and his classmates have to survive this deadly game in which if you don't obey the king's orders, and we don't know who the king is, then you will be punished. But most of the time it's been death so far, so that's the thing as well. So we start off with our main character Nobuaki. He really refuses to get along with his classmates because he doesn't, after the previous King's Game, he doesn't really have any motivation to get along with his classmates. Then he meets this one girl, very sweet girl, gets along with the entire class. You know, she's that typical that archetype of girl that everyone likes and no one has any problems with. It's not a big thing, it's whatever, until the new King's Game starts, and the first order was for Nobuaki and this girl to kiss. Now everyone shrugs it off as, oh, okay, the guy sent the text to everyone in order to kiss the girl. You got to kiss the girl. Anyways, moving on from that, you don't even know that reference. If you know that reference, I rate you. Anyways, so moving on forward, everyone is like, oh my god, he's doing it because he likes her, blah blah blah, that type of stuff. You know, typical Jap stuff. I don't know if it happens in actual schools. I don't think it does, but whatever. So he decides to make, because he doesn't want to go through another game like this, he decides that he's just gonna let himself die. But the thing is that he'll also take her with him. So it's a sort of a moral dilemma. Should I go through this thing and go through with the kiss and let everyone else suffer along the way, or do I just end it here and just die? So there comes a moral dilemma to it, which is also why I love this anime so much. And then there's the other issue, is that why should I do things in order to help other people? I should just do it to help myself, you know, get me out of this situation. So that's another issue that it just blows my mind. So he decides that he's just gonna die and just take her with her. But the thing is that he ends up in a place, I don't know, it was like a baseball field or something, I don't know, it was a weird place. So he ends up there and she comes chasing after him, and she actually goes ahead and kisses him, says she loves him, blah blah blah, typical whatever, right? She says she loves him and she kisses him. Turns out that it wasn't, they have a full day to complete the order, or else they will not be able to live. Wow, I just realized how sad it is that I missed that combo. Anyways, yeah, so they only have a day to fulfill the request. So he thought he was good, he was going to take her with her, but it turns out that she ended up kissing him before time was out. So that leaves them in a state where all the next orders are coming through, and once the first one has been issued, they just start coming through. It got insane. Some people had to have sex, some people had to grope each other. It was getting mad crazy. So our hero Nobuaki decides to talk to this girl and tell this girl for everyone to meet up in a park, because the king had decided to make a request, that being everyone who you're not allowed to fall asleep. So the best way to not fall asleep, God, that's my phone, in order to not fall asleep, you would meet him in the park and do stuff like that, right? It was a logical answer, to be honest. It made sense. But the thing is that some people were already asleep when the order went out, so they died. they got hanged. Well, rather they hanged themselves. So everyone reaches the park, or everyone gets to the park, and things are just going wild. Everyone's like, what's going on? So people are frustrated, angry, tired, and everything just goes to hell. And it's just like, oh my god, like it even gets so bad where they really realize that this game is actually for real, so they can't be doing stuff like this. So one guy who had to have sex with the girl that liked Nobuaki, and that just got really awkward because she was like, oh, I want to have it with someone that I love, do it with me first. And he's like, nah, that's not me, man, that's not me, I'm not about that life. Anyways, so if you don't get that reference, it's okay. So he decides that she's gonna actually go through with it, but then she has a complete personality change. She goes from one end to the other, and she completely changes her attitude, and so much so that she says that she hates Nobuaki and everything. You're just like, wait, what? Like a couple of seconds ago you were saying you loved her. But we also get the opportunity to see what happened in the previous game, so we also get a couple of scenes from there, and we also get to see how one of the first few people died. And it was sad because the guy was completely innocent, but he was asked to have sex with this guy's girlfriend, and instead of allowing them to do it, he's like, no, if you do it, I'll beat you up. And then they end up doing it because they didn't want to die, which was reasonable. And then the boyfriend gets mad, and the king gives him the power to command anything. So he decides to command the guy who had sex with his girlfriend to death. And I was like, wait, so you were that mad that you actually decided to kill him? You actually decided to kill him? I'm done. I'm done with you. You're not serious. He's like, oh, it was just a joke, chill. But fast forward, he ended up actually dying. It was actually tragic. And we move on to the third episode, which is what I really wanted to talk about. The third episode was just insane. And finally somebody comes to help out Nobuaki, because Nobuaki is actually getting bullied by the rest of the class, because the rest of the class think that he's the one who started all of this and started all the deaths and stuff like that. So he's beaten up, bruised on the floor, and this guy named Kenta, he comes in, saves him from the rest of the class. Like, well, what's wrong with you guys? What are you guys doing? Why are you guys doing this? Yeah, so Kenta picks him up, and they start walking away, and things are just going so wild. And we happen to see another scene from the previous game, and I must say that one scene had me nearly in tears. So what happened was, his best friend had to do a popularity contest with another girl in the class, and whoever was the loser between the two had to receive punishment. So they already had the assumption that it was death. But whatever, moving forward from that, everyone was like, you know what, I don't want to vote. Why not just not vote? But at the end of the message, it also says that no entry is not allowed either. So if you don't put in your vote, then you'll catch a punishment as well. So he's asking the guy is asking other people to vote for his best friend so he doesn't die. So he's asking around, asking people, please, can you just help? Please, I just saw one of my friends die. I don't want to see another die. Please, can you just do this for me? I beg of you. He's asking people, he's begging. And this other girl, who was the other person in the, oh my god, wow, that's insane. Anyways, I'm sorry, I just saw something. The other girl who's part of the contest, she actually has to go around and ask people for their vote as well. And instead of going around legit asking for their vote, what she actually starts doing is that she starts lending her body around in order to catch votes. And I was like, I don't know, I didn't know how to feel. Why? Because like, I can't really judge her for doing what she did, but at the same time, it was like, was it that serious? I don't know. That's a dilemma that you guys can put in the comments below. Do you think that it was appropriate for her to be lending herself out to all the guys in order to get her vote. So they go into the vote, and me personally, I would have voted for the protagonist's friend, because he's the homeboy, you know what I mean? Anyways, so the votes come down, and it's a near tie, and she's like wondering why it's a tie. What the heck? Why is it a tie? You guys should be voting for me. Why not vote for me? And the final ballot comes out. The other chick, she actually grabs the... Wow, my phone is busy. It happens to be... It's normally dry. Cough, cough. Anyways, so... God damn. Oh, this is insane. Holy. Okay, so it turns out that the last vote said Kana, which is the girl's name, and she was like, yes, I won. And then the protagonist is like, wait, give me that sheet. He opens it up. It actually says Kana, which is the other girl's name. I'm sorry, I'm gonna vote for Naoya, which is the protagonist's friend. And she just loses it. She's like, no, after all I did. And she was lending herself to many guys. It was bad. But anyways, so she decides before her punishment goes, she's gonna jump out the window. So she decides to jump out the window. They're on like the second or third floor, not really sure where they were, but she ends up maiming herself really bad. Goes to the hospital, and guess what the punishment was? Turned out that the punishment was only the fact that you had to tell the person you love your feelings. And that was it. And then she ended up killing herself because of that. And then here comes the emotional part. The next part was that because she died, she wasn't able to do the request, and now the request was passed on to Naoya, which is the protagonist's friend. So things are now like really awkward. And thing too is that he still has the same time limit. So because the request was sent in the day before, he only had 10 minutes to do it, and it was only Naoya, the protagonist, and his quote-unquote girlfriend. Not really confirmed yet, but like really it's generally the girlfriend, right? So it's only them three there, and then the protagonist is like, you know what, I love you enough, you can have sex with my girlfriend. And I was just like, would anyone really go that far for their bro? That type of deepness, that type of love is just like insane. And where do you find that? And he was willing to really give up, give his girl over to his best friend just so that he can live. And then the friend was like, no, I love you guys so much that I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna betray the love that you guys have. And he said, I love you both. And that right there almost had me in tears, to be perfectly honest. It had me in tears, because like that type of like friendship is like, it's like brotherhood. It's like, you're my brother. That type of love is just insane, and I couldn't believe it, to be honest. It was just insane. So then they end up he says, no, I'm not gonna do it, but he actually ends up punching him, knocking him out, and asking the girlfriend to have sex with him regardless. So the obedience was confirmed and everything was okay, but now we need to wait for the 4th episode, which I cannot wait for, and things are just gonna get insane. Anyways, long story short, this episode was awesome. All 3 episodes have been awesome. There's nothing but I can say just awesome. Everything was just really well done, and it really does get to your emotions. And just tell me what you guys think in the comment sections below. Alright, okay, so that is all from me, folks, and please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I am out. Peace. I should have presented the match.